You ever agree to something even though every cell in your body was screaming, "No, don't do it"? Yeah, we've all been there. That little voice that says, just say yes, keep the peace, don't upset anyone. Well, today we're talking about boundaries. Why saying no is actually powerful, how guilt sneaks in and messes with your brain, and how to protect your energy without feeling like you've just committed a social crime. And stick around, because I'm gonna tell you about the time I basically turned into a part-time therapist with no degree, no paycheck, and way too many emotionally needy friends. It's tragic, it's funny, and it's a little too relatable. Let's get into it. Behind every belief, there's a story. Through every struggle, we find strength. Here, we drop the masks, face the truth, and talk about what really makes us human. This is Life Without Filters. All right, let's talk about why saying no still feels like standing up to a saber-toothed tiger. Back in the day, boundaries were literal. You drew a line around your fire, your food, and if someone crossed that, it was life or death. Fast forward a few thousand years, our brains still treat boundaries like conflict equals danger. Here's the science. Your amygdala, the emotional alarm system in your brain. It lights up during rejection or confrontation the same way it does during a physical threat. That's why your heart races, your palms sweat, and suddenly you're over-explaining your no like you're testifying in court. Psychologists call this the balance between assertiveness and social harmony, a leftover instinct from when belonging literally meant survival. Early humans that cooperated and avoided conflict were more likely to stay in the tribe, get food, protection, and yes, even partners. Those who caused too much tension risked isolation. And isolation back then, game over. Even modern neuroscience backs this up. Studies show that social rejection activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. So when you say no and feel that pang of guilt or fear, it's not weakness, it's biology. Your brain is literally trying to protect you from being kicked out of the tribe, even if that tribe is just your weekend group chat about brunch. So when someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do, your brain doesn't say, this isn't aligned with my emotional bandwidth. It says, say yes, or they'll throw you out of the group. And that's why no can feel like you just dropped a live grenade in a group chat, even when you're just politely declining a barbecue. In the next part, I'll share how I learned this the hard way. Back when I thought boundaries was just a fancy word for being rude. Okay, so flashback time. Younger me had zero concept of boundaries. Like, if people needed something, I was there. No hesitation, no limits, and no idea I was slowly becoming a 1-800 helpline. I had this little group of friends who only ever called me when life went full soap opera. And I thought, wow, they really trust me. Then I started noticing something off. Our conversations were basically therapy sessions, but with worse lighting and no degree. They'd unload all their problems and never once asked, hey, how are you? And I'm sitting there thinking, am I supposed to take notes, bill by the hour, offer insurance receipts? One day my best friend came over and watched me take call after call. Finally she said, do you realize that everyone who's called you today needs something from you? And boom, that was an instant wake-up call. I wasn't being helpful, I was being drained. I was giving and getting absolutely nothing back. So I did something scary. I started setting boundaries. I said things like, I can't talk right now, or I need a break. And here's the plot twist. I didn't apologize for it. You know what happened? People who were used to unlimited access to me suddenly stopped calling as much. Some disappeared entirely, and honestly, that was perfect. It was freeing, like reclaiming my time, my energy, and my sanity, without being mean or selfish. Boundaries didn't ruin my friendships. They revealed who was actually my friend. If this story's hitting a little too close to home, hit like and subscribe. and maybe send it to your favorite people pleaser. Stick around, because up next, we're fast forwarding to 2025, where boundaries got trickier, guilt got louder, and your phone basically became a portable, do not disturb fail machine. Let's be honest, we live in a world where boundaries are invisible, but guilt is everywhere. You've got DMs, texts, emails, group chats, so many notifications, all demanding your attention 24/7. There's this unspoken rule. You must respond immediately or risk looking rude, lazy, or antisocial. Ignore a message, guilt. Respond late, more guilt. Turn off your phone, emotional meltdown. And research actually backs this up. Chronic guilt from overgiving is directly linked to burnout, anxiety, and emotional fatigue. It's like trying to carry 12 bowls of spaghetti while someone keeps adding more. And yes, the noodles are your emotions. But here's the good news. You can set boundaries in a way that's clear, kind, and totally guilt-free. Up next, I'll show you how to say no without sounding like a villain, and how to protect your time without burning bridges. Here's the magic formula: gentle, clear, and unapologetic. Phrases like, no thank you, or I'll get back to you when I can. Notice no I'm sorry required. I once worked with a client who said yes to everything. Weekend plans, extra work, last-minute favors, you name it. She was drained, frustrated, and overwhelmed. So we came up with a boundary script, something she could reuse anytime. It went like this: I really value our time, but I need to protect my schedule to stay balanced. She practiced it in texts, emails, and conversations, and something amazing happened. Saying no stopped feeling like rejection and started feeling like self-respect. You can do the same. Try scheduling phone-free time. Set clear auto-replies that let people know your limits. Or pre-write a few polite decline messages for when guilt tries to sneak in. Because saying no isn't selfish, it's survival. You're basically the modern-day tribe leader, protecting your resources one polite no at a time. Next up, I'll give you one simple weekly tool you can use to make saying no a whole lot easier.
It's time for
the Mindset Makeover.
So now you know why saying no feels scary. But guess what? The tribe has Wi-Fi now. You'll survive. Here's your tool for this week: the boundary script. Write out a few no lines in advance so you're not caught off guard in the moment. Here's one of my favorites. Thanks for asking, but I don't have the bandwidth right now. It's polite, it's direct, and it doesn't open the door for negotiation. The more you practice it, the less guilt you'll feel and the more peace you'll have. Because boundaries aren't walls, they're doors with locks that you control. Okay, that's a wrap for this one. Listen, the real you is always enough. You don't need to overgive, over-explain, or overextend. Just show up exactly as you are. That's more than enough. Go have a good day on purpose. And if setting boundaries feels uncomfortable or scary, you're not alone. Most people say yes because they're afraid of letting others down. But constantly saying no without limits only leads to resentment and burnout. I help people create boundaries that feel safe and natural, so you can protect your energy and your relationships. If this is something you struggle with, DM me on Instagram at Derick H Coaching. I'll help you build healthy boundaries that let you show up fully for yourself and for others.